Hello, welcome to Seafair's very own podcast series, Get a Grip on FAIR, Food, Agriculture, and Resource Economic. My name is Hochman, and I'm the board chair of Seafair and an applied economist at Rutgers University. With me is Jane Kolodinsky, Seafair board member and chair of the Community Development and Applied Economics at the University of Vermont. And we are here to discuss NASS with Mr. Kevin Barnes, USDA National Agricultural Statistics Service, NASS, Acting Administrator. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us today for our podcast, Meet NASS.
My pleasure.
Statistical Service provide advice, analysis, and statistical evidence-based information to help make better decisions. NASS is the USDA National Agricultural Statistics Service. Is this what NASS does? Is this its mission?
Yes, you're right. I mean, our mission, of course, is to provide timely and accurate information for service to U.S. agriculture. That's our role. We're here to make information that's available to everyone, the public. At the same time, we level the playing field in agriculture and assure that we have stable markets because we have information that can help us make good decisions in the marketplace.
Well, thank you for that, Kevin. Can you now go a little bit deeper and tell us what NASS's key activities are?
Okay, well, mainly what we are is a statistical organization, so our main activities are data collection, analysis, and dissemination, publication of reports. So in that vein, along that line, we conduct hundreds of surveys, and we publish over 450 or so reports a year on all aspects of agriculture. We cover all the commodities raised, crops, livestock, economic information on farms, as well as conducting the census of agriculture every 5 years, which is a major undertaking, and we're preparing now for the 22 census of agriculture. So a lot goes on here.
Wow. Now, the Council on Food and Agricultural Resource Economics, we've been kind of concerned and interested in the move by ERS and NEFA to Kansas City. Has that move affected NASS at all?
No, not at all. I mean, we have not been impacted. We still work closely with our sister agency, ERS, as well as our missionary partner, NEFA. So it has not impacted us in terms of how we operate, and we've been able to continue to carry on our partnerships as we have in the past.
As we're all learning to communicate in different ways during this pandemic. Yeah. So, you mentioned that NASS's key activities include collecting hundreds or conducting hundreds of surveys and data points and analyzing those data. Where can the public access the outputs of NASS?
Well, as I said earlier, all of our information is public. So we make sure that the information that we collect is published and posted on our website at nass.usda.gov. So you can go out there and we publish a calendar that shows the dates of all our publications when they're released, and the public has access to that. We also have a database, a quick stats, we call it, database, that people can go out and mine to get information, maybe even historical information. But everything's available pretty much there on our website.
Thank you.
And who are your main stakeholders? Is it mostly the producers, the consumers, both, a mix of them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's basically, of course, our major stakeholders are our producers, our agricultural producers. That's who we're here to serve, of course, but all of the agricultural community. When you look at agribusinesses, you look at USDA, other agencies that utilize our information, as well as Congress in policymaking. So we have a broad constituency that goes across many different facets of agriculture, the agriculture industry, as well as domestic and international.
Now, the list of output is very impressive and is very useful. However, the real world is driven by myriads of factors. In practice, how does NASS's output contribute to the research agenda in ag, food, the environment, and rural communities?
Well, I think, it's obvious that we all know that the research agenda is highly dependent upon sound data. And so it's NASS's role in providing that data that would help drive the research agenda, but not only help drive the research agenda, but help assess the agenda. We contribute by providing high quality and objective, relevant data. We try to make sure things are relevant for decision making, not only decision making in terms of the research component, but in the policies that drive research. The data is needed to help drive those decisions. So we feel we play a significant role in that respect, in making that information available and useful, and also trying to fill where there are data gaps, and where we're able to fill those data gaps, we try to play that role in filling the data gaps.
So you act both, you respond to the stakeholders' needs as being relevant, and you also try to independently search and address gaps in the data and the information provided to the various stakeholders.
Yes, we do. And to the extent that we're able to do that, of course, there's always budget limitations, but to the extent that we're able to do that within our current mission and program, we do that. We also do reimbursable work for other organizations as well, to collect additional information, or conduct special surveys at request, or do data analysis for other organizations. So along those lines, I think we do a lot to support the research agenda.
Can you elaborate a bit more on the structure of NASS, and then how do these requests percolate to the decision at NASS to move forward with those type of surveys? If a stakeholder is interested in certain information.
Okay, so the way we're structured right now is we're headquartered. Of course, our headquarters is in Washington, D.C. And we have a national operations division that handles a lot of our processing, mailing, data collection as well in the St. Louis area. In St. Louis is our national operations division. Then we have 12 regional offices across the country. And then we have satellite offices in I think about 33 of the states. We have satellite offices positioned as well, where we have 2 people there. So what we do is we have on the ground contact with our constituencies out there, and we work closely with the local contacts. And we do this data collection in concert. We have a partnership with the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, where we contract to hire somewhere around 2,500 to 2,800 or so, but they're between 2,500 and 3,000 part-time contractors to collect information. We have 5 call centers across the country where we have NASDA contractors call for us and contact farmers. So if someone wants us to do a special survey, the first thing we do is look at that in terms of its relevancy to agriculture and relevancy to our mission, whether it fits. And then, they will work through, if it's a local level, like a state, they will work through our state entity or our regional offices out there to communicate that need. We will evaluate it at the regional office and national level, and then implement the program if it fits our mission.
It is. And how are you responding to the pandemic? Now there are many people, perception is that it's here to stay. It's not going to go away that fast.
Hope not. Let's hope not. Well, we've done a lot. We have actually decentralized our data collection efforts, where we used to have in-person communication with a lot of our farmers. We've reduced that, and we've spread out our data collection where we're able to do more work now from home. Nearly 95% of our staff telework ready, so they were able to work from home. And so with this decentralization of efforts, we've been able to maintain our ability to collect the information as well as maintain good response rates. As challenging as it has been, no doubt about that. We've also gone to, as far as disseminating our reports, we've done virtual briefings, implemented virtual briefings, where we're still able to do our board briefings and reports virtually, which has actually opened a lot of that process up to even more people to participate in. So we've been quite successful so far at operating in this environment, but we realize, there remain challenges, and we hope that, like everybody else, that at some point in time, we'll get back to, I won't say normal, but I say get back to a new normal.
So Gal, can I sneak one more question in before you finish it up? So Kevin, how can researchers access raw data, or can they access raw data from NASS and not just reports?
They can, depending on the entity or the researchers that's requesting the information. We have what we call a data lab, and they can contact our data lab. That's also out on our website. And through our data lab, they can currently gain access to raw data, and that data can be worked on in a more of a data lab and controlled environment, and also they have to sign a agreement, confidentiality agreement, non-disclosure agreement with the agency, but that would be handled through our data labs. And so they would put in their proposal for their research or whatever it is they need to get access to through our data lab. We would evaluate it and then determine what level of access an individual can have.
It's a very impressive organization, Kevin. And do you have any final thoughts, both of you?
No, but I will say this, and I hope there are some producers that are listening, and I hope they understand. First of all, I want to emphasize that all the data that we collect is strictly confidential. We live by that. We believe in that, and that is extremely important. And as a statistical organization, that's critically important to us. Also, we want them to feel comfortable to report to us because of the fact that we do maintain that confidentiality of their data. We're also independent. That is one of the core principles of a statistical agency, to be credible and independent from influence. So we're not influenced by any politically or in any other way. We produce objective information, clear of influence. So it's important for all statistical agencies to maintain for our independence, as well as to maintain confidentiality. So I encourage producers out there to continue to report their information to us. It's extremely important to them. It is their voice, their opportunity to tell the world some of their challenges, also to have a voice in the marketplace in terms of leveraging agriculture as a bigger player in the world marketplace, U.S. agriculture, that is. So
cybersecurity is a big issue for the agency.
extremely important. It is a top priority at our agency to maintain securely, to secure that data and maintain a very secure environment. All of our employees are sworn agents, and we're all sworn agents, and they're all sworn by confidentiality, and subject to fines of $250,000 or more, or 5 years imprisonment. So so far, we've been in business for 150 years nearly, and we have not had to worry about a major a breach of that so far, and we expect that will continue in the future.
Very, very impressive and important organization. Jane, final thoughts?
No, I'm extremely impressed. I'm impressed at the quantity and quality of data that NASS provides, the ability for, and you said it's not an easy process, but there is a process for researchers across the country to access those data and not just the reports. And that, as you said, you haven't had a breach of security in dozens of years. So very, very impressive. And thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, I want to offer a big thank you to you, Kevin, for taking the time. I know time is valuable, very much. I would also like to thank my colleague, Jane, and thank you to our communication strategist. We're also happy that you, the audience, joined us for this podcast. This podcast and other CFAIR programs wouldn't be possible without the continuing support of the Agriculture and Applied Economic Association, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Agricultural Statistical Service, and the Economic Research Service. Thank you. Bye.